And how did you handle the school groups? Was that program kind of changed? Did you give individual hallway tours, or how?
Well, the tours that we gave originally, before the docents came, we used university students, and they would meet the class at the door, and this had all been prepared ahead. And if the teachers wanted something special, they let us know so that the person guiding them could talk about that particular aspect of whatever they were looking at. And when the docents came, this was after the war, and we were getting back into operation in 1946, which was the year I came in. And so gradually we introduced the docents to this, because they were ready. It was not until the 60s, but we'd been using university students up to that time. And but this was all done on a class-by-class basis. The teachers would call up and make a reservation for a hall that they wanted because it fitted into what the program was at school. And we would send out a packet with perhaps 5 or 6 large pictures. For example, using the animals, and have pictures of the animals, or if it was a colonial hall, we would have pictures of colonial materials. And those could be passed around the classroom so they'd be prepared for what was going to happen. And we would also send lists of words that we would use, so the kids were partway there before they ever got to the museum. And then when they came in, we usually talked to them for, maybe 25 or 30 minutes, and let them go and look around the room afterwards, because you can't talk about everything in a room. And then they would come back and ask questions, and it was a real teaching experience, because only one class would go to one gallery because of noise. Children are not quiet.
How many students would you say in those years came? In other words, we sometimes get 600 students a day. Sometimes it's 2,500. What would you say
When you get groups like that, all they do is flush through. You don't.
That's a problem.
You can't teach them.
So were the docents assigned to a particular hallway?
They were assigned to a particular hall, and they were not assigned to that hall until they felt that they knew it well. They didn't have to know everything in the hall, but if they had an overview and could choose several things that they would like to talk about, then they could take the class in. And the class stayed for an hour, and we did that at each hour. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Rarely at 1, because they had to get their buses back to take kids home from school. But it was a real teaching experience. Nowadays, I noticed when I was working over there as a retiree, you just have these floods of kids coming in, and they flush through the building and back out again with no real teaching, which I thought was too bad. It had been a wonderful opportunity, but.
Did you have curiosity carts? Did you make use of curiosity carts, what we now call curiosity carts in the various?
I don't know what those are, so I can't tell you. They had lots of questions, but they would sometimes send back, or more often would hand the docent in charge some of the questions that they had, and or what things they wanted pointed out in particular. It depended upon the teacher.